Hello, hello, hello. Angel here. Welcome back to my channel. Are you new? Hello. Have you been here before? Hello. Lovely to see you. A quick recommendation. Don't get old. I'm saying this merely because I worked yesterday. I came home late. I ate a sandwich. I drank a cup of tea. I brushed my teeth and I went to bed. And this morning I have woken up and I cannot move my right arm. I have to help my arm to lift my arm in any kind of direction. And, eating sandwiches and drinking cups of tea late in the evening does not equal for me a rock and roll lifestyle. So I'm like a little old lady today. I'm shuffling about, trying not to move my arm too much. Fingers crossed, fingers and toes crossed that it will sort itself out. Anyway, that was irrelevant. What we're doing today? We are doing a bit of an inspired video to the booktube community. This is tarottube side effects, which I was inspired to do this video by a channel that's called Spinster's Library. What's this all about? Let's get into it. So the video that I accidentally stumbled across from Spinster's Library's channel was about 4 years old, and they were speaking about the side effects of being booktube content creators, and I kind of was inspired by that idea, and I'm going to speak about today 10 side effects of watching tarottube and being involved in the tarottube community. So let's start with the first side effect. So, my first side effect, well, that was not knowing that there were some amazing deck reviews online in the tarottube community. When I first started out on my tarot journey, I think I googled tarot and came upon the RWS and got myself onto Amazon and purchased this deck, which was like, the bog standard, at that point, cheap as chips. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to take this a bit slow, I feel. with me gammy arm here. What was I saying? Oh no, I've gone off on a tangent. So I got myself onto Amazon and this one popped up and I was like, oh, yeah, this looks about right. This is the kind of tarot images I've seen in like films or series or, and of course that's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. So I do wish that I had found tarottube a wee little bit earlier so that I could have seen all the amazing decks. I still think I would have purchased the original RWS, but I think I would have purchased the a better copy, or not a better copy. What am I trying to say here? This copy has got these backs. The lines I feel are quite muddy. And I think with the radiant weight, for instance, I think it's called, with the blue back with the stars on the back, I would have liked that copy or that version of the deck because it's very clear. You can, it's very crisp, all the details. So yeah, I wish I'd known that. I wish that I had kind of stumbled upon tarottube a little bit earlier and been able to see all the amazing RWS clones and versions and options of the original Rider-Waite-Smith. And there are some amazing, fantastic, thorough walkthroughs. All about, which include how the box looks, what the quality of the cardstock is like, what the guidebook is like. It's like, that's just amazing. That's amazing to get that kind of content for free, in my humble opinion. Let's move on to the next one. So my second tarottube side effect, well, that's got to be that there are such great resources, in the tarottube community. Just for instance, we've got like amazing tarottube courses for free. For instance, Kellyanne Maddox, I know that I found their channel very early on when I was on my tarot when my tarot journey started and when my booktube practice started, and they've got some amazing playlists which I'm linked in the description box here. Even Lisa Pepez, they've got tarot training wheels, I think it's called. I'm going to link their playlist as well. And even, as my journey has progressed with tarot, And we've even got things like the Deacon Walk with Marlena Teresa. They did that last year, 2023. I'm going to link their list as well, their playlist in the description box. And all these resources were free. It was fantastic. So, you know, starting out as a beginner, I didn't really even need to purchase a book right at the start. I could have, you know, totally, what's the word, absorbed all this free, wonderful content. So yeah, you know, that is available to us is just amazing, I think. Yeah, the third side effect. So the third side effect is, although there are all these amazing reviews and walkthroughs out there, knowing that the person's experience that's showing they're reviewing that deck is possibly not the experience that I'm personally going to have with that deck. It's really easy to get like caught up in the excitement that's going on when people are showing, you know, these super duper decks, and I'm thinking I want to have that experience too. And a good example of that is this one. This is the Deviant Moon Tarot. I've finished mine in black. I'm going to say that I think, I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on this. I think I saw this on the Hermit's Cave, Simon's channel, the Hermit's Cave. Simon's channel, the Hermit's Cave, is what it's called. I need to get my brain in gear as well as my arm today. Yeah, and I've etched mine in black, and I purchased this secondhand from eBay. It was the boarded version. I chopped the borders off. Anyway, yeah, and this kind of hasn't really found a place in my collection. And I bought this one forward today, especially because I had a bit of an experience with this deck today. It hasn't been out of off of my tarot shelf for 2.5 years, 3 years possibly. And today I pulled it out because I'm starting a new practice, and I wanted this deck flashed into my mind, and I thought, oh, that might work for this practice. So I got on my hands and knees and shuffled about, and, you know, pulled this deck out of my tarot storage. Shuffled the deck really well. Asked the deck how it could help me to connect with this energy of this new practice, or, you know, something to that effect. And I kid you not, it threw out, the jumper card was this card. And I always look at the bottom card on the deck, and the bottom card was the Five of Wands. And I was like, well, alrighty then. You clearly cannot help me with anything that I want you to help me with in this practice. I shall continue with my Plan B deck instead. I am terribly, truly sorry for disturbing you in your slumber with my inconsequential, or whatever that word is, puny human question. I shall scuttle back into my little cave and disturb you no longer. Is how I felt with this deck. So I'm sure it was Simon at the Hermit's Cave, and they spoke really highly of this deck. And I'm not, there probably is going to become a time when this is going to find its place in my practice. But at the minute, it just doesn't like me. It does not want to know me. And I do remember, actually, when I got this deck through the post, the energy was weird. It's one of the only decks. The other deck was is it called the Dark Grimoire Tarot? I'll put the name on the screen. That also had a weird energy. It kind of made me go, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. And this deck had a bit of a heebie-jeebie feeling. So I remember I really, cleansed the bejesus out of this deck. And I think I even went card to card, cleansing it. Yeah. Have I spoken about the Deviant Moon? I'm not sure. But my point is I've learned that, when I watch these reviews or like people talking about decks, I kind of had that thought process now that, wait, just because they're having that experience, it doesn't mean that I'm going to have that experience. And that's been really helpful, actually. That's kind of prevented me from leaping in with both feet, or feet first, into purchasing something that, might not be my aesthetic, or might not be my jam. Can I say that? Does that make any sense? Am I totally babbling? Yes to all the above questions. We're moving along with the next with the next side effect. I'm so glad I came up on this tag today. The side effects. The side effects of eating a sandwich and drinking a cup of tea before bed has totally put my arm out of use today. That was a terrible side effect. But a great side effect for the tarottube is new decks that are flipped through. This kind of goes back to deck reviews, or deck reviews, and the first side effect that I spoke about. However, this one is all about new decks. So even before these decks have hit the market, there are reviews on tarottube, which I think is fantastic. Is it just me? I don't think so. This was not a brand new deck on the market. But it was already, the pre-order stage had gone by. But this was a deck that kind of caught my eye, and I was like, oh, I think I might want that deck. And yes, I am on a low buy year. Let's not talk about that. This is the Oracle of Pluto. Can I just show you look at this? Look at the edging on this beauty. I edged it recently and I love it. Look at this, and you'll see it matches the cards perfectly. I'm going to show you a few cards because why not? And I'm going to see if I can hold like this. Me and my old lady arm today. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so of course, I just went onto the tarottube, popped the deck name into the search bar, and up popped a fantastic review, which allowed me to see all of the cards before purchasing this deck, and it allowed me to see if it was going to be my thing or not, which is great. I mean, that's what you get that kind of content for free. I mean, that's fantastic. There have been, I think there's only been one deck actually that I've purchased from an actual metaphysical shop that I couldn't see the cards of. And I was like caught up in the whole moment, of like, oh, I'm in a metaphysical shop for the first time. Oh, I want to buy a tarot deck. Oh, I'm going to buy that one. Oh, do I know what it looks like? No, but oh, I'm going to buy it anyway. And that deck hasn't found its position in my practice at the moment either. So this is great, that these videos are like available, that we can, have a look at, make up our mind if it's anything for us, and if it's not, we get to save some money, which doesn't happen very often, I've got to say. I do tend to think, oh, I like that deck, I'm going to purchase it. But it is a good side effect. It's an excellent side effect of tarottube. We're moving along. So the fifth side effect of tarottube is that I learned that other divination methods exist. It's not just tarot, it's not just oracle. There are oghams, runes, for instance, charms, pendulums, bibliomancy, dice, dominoes. Anything can be used really for divination. So these are a set of bog standard dice that I've got. I made my own charm set. Let's see if I can pop these out to show you. I should have done this previously. Here's one I prepared earlier. If you're a UK person, you might recognise the Blue Peter reference. I made these myself, went out into the woods, picked up some sticks that felt relevant and burned them, used my wood burner. Then on Simon's channel, again, Simon at the Hermit's Cave, they were using dominoes, and I was like, oh, that's not a domino, that's a piece of selenite. I want to try some of that. So I went secondhand shopping, went into the kiddie department, the toy department, and picked up some secondhand dominoes, which were obviously cleansed. Then we've obviously got things like charms, which I've made my own charm casting set. Let's hope I'm in shot here. So, I've obviously picked up, I've got some runes here. I've got a disco ball, because, yes, obviously, a little unicorn, a little toy that I found, a mushroom, a glow-in-the-dark star, a little, I don't know, resting figure, I don't know, another dice, a button, this piece of stone, which reminds me of an arrowhead, I don't know, it makes sense in my brain. Lots of different things, random things I just find, and, I could find them at home, I might find them, when I'm on my walks and things like that, just, random bits and pieces. I have shown this before. So it kind of sends me down these kind of rabbit holes, to do some more research into things that would never have possibly occurred to me, if I hadn't seen it on tarottube or been led further. Yeah, does that make sense? So, that this kind of thing is really interesting as well, I think. And obviously, I use bibliomancy as well, which I use. Let me show you the book. Let me grab the book. Okay, here's the book I use for bibliomancy, exclusively for bibliomancy. Women Who Run with the Wolves. So I tend to use my dice for this actually, and I do have another set of dice. I have this set as well. Oh, that was pretty, wasn't it? That was my singing bowl that I just knocked accidentally. Yes, there's a good girl, lovey. These are my other dice, which have got higher numbers, so I tend to roll these all together now. Previously I used my other dice. I tend to use these to choose the page number and the line of the text that I need to read. So that's another great way, and that's kind of, I don't think I actually saw that. I just heard the reference or saw the reference on YouTube to bibliomancy, and kind of that's kind of developed and blossomed out of that. But I don't think I would have come upon that if I hadn't seen or heard that spoken about on tarottube. So yeah. So side effect number 6 is that, yeah, the side effect that tarottube would kind of lead me down other rabbit holes, to witchy practices. So for instance, tarot, using tarot for spell work, for instance, using tarot for my other practices that kind of combine with my witchy practice. So for instance, ancestral work, my blood moon practice, shadow work, inner child work, self-love. Yeah, all those different practices that I have, they all have some kind of divination tool involved in those practices. Let me see if I can flip a few cards here to be able to show you. I've shown all of these decks on my channel previously because obviously I use them a lot. I love them. I love all of them. I think I'm going to be right in saying that the Darkwood Tarot is my ride or die deck. This is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. This is the Tarot of Oneness. These two are mass market. This one is indie, and this one is what's this one called? I know this. Sacred Cycles Oracle, of course, that's what it's called. So yeah, and of course, the more I've watched of YouTube, yeah, and tarottube, the more rabbit holes that have opened up, and I've been, yeah, taken down, to be quite honest, which is, I love it. I love it all. It totally feeds my soul and fills my cup. It really, really does. So yeah, we're moving along to the next side effect. So, side effect number 7, that's got to be that tarottube would tap me into other people's practices and give me ideas to kind of develop my own practice, and allow my practice to blossom. So, for instance, like I mentioned with the blood moon practice, or the blood moon cycle practice, for instance. Yeah, and even actually, I'm even going to say my shadow work practice. I remember watching Kellyanne Maddox right at the beginning of my journey, and stumbling upon a lot of her fantastic content surrounding self-love and shadow work and all that good stuff. So yeah, that was actually a bit of a surprise, and to be honest, I don't even remember when I started watching tarottube. I don't know. I just stumbled upon it by accident. I can't even pinpoint the video or the person that I initially watched or saw. I do know that Kellyanne Maddox and Simon from the Hermit's Cave were probably two of the first content creators that I kind of stumbled upon. And then, maybe Lisa Pepez came a bit later on. Dawn Michelle obviously came up, I stumbled upon their channel as well. Yeah, and speaking actually of Dawn Michelle, getting any insight into other people's practices. For instance, I remember seeing Dawn Michelle's videos on their modifying their decks and edging and things like that. And I don't think I would have, had that thought of, cutting into cards or modifying them, that, if I hadn't seen that content from Dawn Michelle. So, things like that's really given not permission slip to do these kind of things, but it's kind of given me the idea and the I suppose, a little bit of permission to do it. Yeah. So yeah. So the next side effect, that's got to be community and connection. tarottube has definitely given me this space to connect with people and speak about, you know, tarot and oracle and divination and all the things that I can't speak about in my real life. It's given me that option and that possibility, which is absolutely amazing. I've also you know, made some friends on this platform as well, which is fantastic, and it's kind of allowed me to speak to people that I possibly wouldn't have spoken to otherwise in my real life or in my life outside of, you know, tarottube or YouTube. Yeah. Side effect number 9. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's talk about FOMO. So a side effect of tarottube is FOMO, fear of missing out, of course. I never knew that existed before tarottube. I don't think I did anyway. And I've got to say that, you know, I have gotten better and learned that I don't need all the decks in all the sizes, in all the colours. It's taken some time. It's taken about 4 years to learn that, but I think I'm finally at that space that I'm able to step away. I'm able to step away from the buy button. I'm this close, I'm ready to press it, and I'm like, wait a minute, do I need this in this colour, in this size, in this genre? Do I really need a deck in that fits that criteria? A good example of this was a recent video that I made, hashtag shop my collection. I'm going to put the link in the description box here. I wasn't even this close. I was like this close to purchasing Zeke's Arcana. I so wanted that deck, and I'm going to say I still want it, but I'm not going to buy it. I will not. I refuse to. I've got to be a good girl. I'm on a low buy year, she says. So I'm going to link that video in the description box, but I was this close to buying it. And that's also because, you know, I have watched tarottube and I stumble upon different videos and different decks and different creators. And it's, you know, all the decks are beautiful. The beautiful decks with the beautiful artwork, you know, it all makes sense that we want to purchase all these decks. And it certainly makes sense that I want to purchase all these decks. But I have kind of learned that I don't need to do that. I've got amazing decks in my own collection which I can shop, which is great. So now I try to go and shop my deck collection. Yeah, but I'm not going to say I'm never going to buy a new deck. I mean, saying that, I just showed you the Oracle of Pluto, so you know, don't listen to me. I'm talking gobbledygook. Okay, the last side effect. Should we do this? Let's do this. Okay, so my final tarottube side effect is, yeah, I didn't realise when I first started watching tarottube that I was going to be needing a larger storage area, a larger apartment, and a much larger bank account. I think we all need that when we start watching tarottube. And obviously I did, you know, I mean, I did move to a bigger apartment, but that is actually because I wanted a witchy room and a tarot room. So yeah, that is actually a side effect of watching tarot too, I've got to say. But you know, it's all good. I am totally on board with that. So yeah, that was it. Those are my 10 side effects. Do you have any side effects? Any tarottube side effects? Let me know in the description box. I would love to know. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm done really. I'm gonna love you and leave you, and I'm gonna wish you a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Thank you for hanging out with me. Have a lovely day, and I hope to see you next time in the next video. Toodaloo.